Welcome back, guys, to yet another excerpt from the Creator Hub Studios presented by Transcend Podcast Studio. I am one of your hosts, Travis, and I am here with
Hassan
and Abdi.
Hassan and Abdi. Thank you so much for coming on to here and, sharing your story and sharing, how this Creator Hub live event has impacted you. So if you can give me a little bit of background on who you guys are and, what brought you here.
My name is Hassan. I'm a young entrepreneur. I own multiple different businesses. I've owned businesses also in the past, and I've been in business since 2023. I've been in content since last year, but with some personal reasons, I stopped doing content, and then I jumped back in a couple months ago, starting up my personal brand, interviewing different millionaires. Interviewing different millionaires from this event. But interviewing, millionaires or business owners and content creators and trying to make an impact in the world through knowledge. So that way, I can somehow make an impact in the world.
Awesome. And how about you?
So my name is Abdi. I'm also a young entrepreneur. I co-run this event business with my brother. It's this, we do like vendor markets, networking events, that sort of stuff. We've hosted about one event so far. I've started my personal brand about 1 month ago, just getting into it, for the first time. It's a pretty exciting world.
Awesome. Okay. And so have you guys been to events like this before, or is this first of its kind?
So when it comes to events, I've been to networking events last year, very small networking events, probably the size of this room. But the first big event, I was in Miami for a wireless conference. It was called Mobile Disrupt. So that was my first time in the room of something that big. And this is my second one. Right after I'm done with this one, I'm going to Vegas for another wireless one. I'm talking about literally right after. I'm talking about Monday. I'm flying to Vegas, and then
awesome.
And then right after, I'm going to Invest Fest, which has like big names like Steve Harvey, Magic Johnson. And, a lot of big names coming. It's an investing thing happening in Atlanta, where I'm from. So back to back, 10 days, going three events of like big size like Creator Hub.
Awesome. And are you both going to these?
So I'm coming to this event over here, but for Vegas, it's just him going.
Okay.
Flying over to Vegas, and then so we're in Atlanta. So back in Atlanta, I'm going to be going to Invest Fest, where it's being held.
Awesome. So, what kind of piqued your guys' interest in, starting this business venture?
Well, for the most part, it was mainly when we started with our business adventure and business venture and going deeper into it, we noticed that starting a personal brand can help, if you incorporate that into your business, it can help increase your revenue and whatnot. And it also can increase, trust for your business and trust personally, and you can network a lot more. So that's what sort of led me to discovering, building a personal brand. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So
Awesome.
for the events company, so we had an e-com store right before for 2 years. That one was kind of like our test in business. Can we do business? How are we going to be able to sell online? Everybody's always thinking about how we can sell online. So we leveraged product from my dad's wireless store that I manage right now. We leveraged product from there and basically sold AirPods, but not Apple AirPods. And we mentioned to the consumers that it wasn't Apple AirPods or anything, but it was. So that was like our test run in business, right? We were pretty young. We didn't know what the hell we were doing, and we ran into so many mistakes. But it was basically like we got the test run inside a business, and then right after, when we shut down that company in June, we started with that money. We started up our events company, hosted a market, and then when we hosted that market, I got the inspiration from a nonprofit that was down the street from us, and they helped me out with a lot of vendor lists, tips and tricks on how to host a vendor market, and it helped me out a lot. So we generated pretty decent income when it came to that, but we broke even on the costs and everything because it was my first event. I didn't know what I was doing. So that happened. And then right after that event happened, I was actually thinking about immediately the next event, and I'm going to host something bigger and better, right? And I'm going to scale higher. But I was like, I thought about it. Like about a week later, I was like, you know what? I don't think I should do vendor markets. I think that I should be spreading knowledge, and I think that I should be trying to make a proper impact on the world. Because at the end of the day, no one's gonna. When you about a week later, right? When you're just on your phone, or when you're at home, or when you're just relaxing, you're not gonna think about the good food that you ate at the event. You might think about who made it, but you're not gonna think about the guy who actually spent hours and hours putting it together. Right? But when it comes to Creator Hub, where there's actual knowledge being thought about, being spread, you think about the guy that actually put in the hard work and dedication, Icon, right? That's one really good example, because when it comes to knowledge being spread, you think about the guy that actually put in the hard work and the effort. And that's not because I want people to, learn my glamorous face or anything. The point is because I want people to actually make an impact, because there was this guy that we just interviewed. His name was Chris, and he said it perfectly. He said that when you're on your deathbed, you're not going to be thinking about the next Ferrari that you're going to be buying. You're thinking about the impact that you made in the world, and the people that are right by your side, your family and your friends, the people that are closest to you and the dearest to you. People are going to be, if you believe in God, then people are going to be praying for you and all that type of stuff while you're on your deathbed, and they're going to be hoping the best for you. But if you're hosting vendor markets your whole life, the only people that are going to be thinking about you are the vendors that you bring together. That's really about it. All the hundreds or thousands of attendees that you're bringing together are not going to care about, really, they're not even going to know who you are. So that's how we're on this journey now, to try to host a big summit, our first ever summit, not in January, 5 months from now, because we're risk takers. So we're like, go big or go home. So we try our best, and there's no going home. So you either go big or you're done. So just keep trying and think ahead and think big. And that's kind of the journey that we're on now.
Awesome. You guys definitely are extremely ambitious. I can tell that your mindset is extremely sharp, and when it comes to, having this mindset, do you feel like you always had this mindset? Do you feel like it was sharpened being at this, Creator Hub live event as well?
I wouldn't personally say that. Nobody starts, sharp, like their mind is sharp. They know a lot. Nothing like that. Even, everybody's still learning. Everybody's learning constantly. You got to take that first step. Once you take that first step, that's when you get that knowledge. You get more knowledge as you move on. So we're still very early in our journey. So, yeah, that's pretty much my answer to that.
Yeah.
So what I can do to add on to that is maybe I'm not too sure about obviously what's in his mind, but when it comes to speaking for me, is that I've always been ambitious in the form of getting stuff done. I usually wasn't the type that is super focused when it comes to like school wise and stuff. But when it comes to doing stuff on the side, I'm like super ambitious related to that. It started really young, right? My dad has had this wireless store for over 15 years. So he would bring me along when it comes to, like when I was around like 7 years old, I would just come on weekends. I would either just be playing on my phone or something. But I was still like, it got to a point where around COVID time, I was pretty young, and it started off with like just helping like one customer a day or something. I had nothing to do, so I would just spend time there. And over time, like the interacting with people and stuff, and the fact that how young I was, it kind of made me, it gave me the drive to want to do something. When it came to the online store, was like we wanted to take a leap, but how can we take a leap? So my dad actually suggested that we start a business. We didn't know what that business was gonna sell. The name was so random. The name was Ifkazi at the time. We didn't know what we were gonna sell. We didn't even know what the word meant. So we just were slapping that name on everything. And then a random thought kind of hit me, and I was like, we have all this product sitting inside the store. It's selling, but how can we really make more money selling it? So we started with that online business, and that kind of taught me. During that time I had the online business, I was doing other things, whether that's flipping stuff on Facebook Marketplace, having different marketing agencies, starting up my personal brand, and doing so much in those 2 years where I was getting my active income while I was also learning ventures that could make me my passive income or my, future income.
Awesome. And so with this, event, you're here for all the days?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you'll be here tomorrow as well?
Yes, sir.
When it comes to, today, because I know we're, wrapping up here, what has been the most impactful moment for you guys today?
The most impactful moment for me was when I was interviewing, a gentleman, Chris, as Hassan mentioned. He was truly very well spoken. He gave a lot of wonderful advice. I believe that when you come across people like that, you should really be taking their advice into consideration and be applying it to your everyday life, not in terms of business. Even as he said, you're gonna be thinking about on your deathbed. You're gonna be thinking about your loved ones. You're gonna be thinking about your impact on the world, and you're not gonna be thinking about a car, a house, a mansion. That sort of advice can be applied to not only your business but even your everyday life.
So something that I kind of benefited from Creator Hub is, the fact that everybody is there to support, right? No matter if you're 50 years old, no matter if you're just 18 years old, no matter how old you are, people are there to support. So you should take advantage of all the opportunities that you have, because I'm a strong believer that networking is key to everything. I mean, yeah, it's your net worth, it's everything that it's around you, but not only the materialistic things like your net worth, but it's also your brain. Your brain is priceless, because in your brain, no matter how low people might think of themselves, your brain is the power to everything, right? If you can really, people talk about programming their chat GPTs and everything, but if you can really program your brain to really be the powerhouse that it's been designed to be, then you can actually get far in life. Networking is like basically, you're waiting for that you're basically waiting to meet that one person that hands you $1 million. For the people that watch my videos, they see that in almost every single time I'm talking about marketing, is that you're this close to being handed $1 million, because you'd rather. Now, when I say handing $1 million, I'm not talking about $1 million cash, because quick money is not always good money, right? Now, that doesn't mean, that doesn't make it, obviously, that quick money. It might not be dirty money, but it's not always good money, because you can blow $1 million in one day. But let's just say I give you $1 million worth of knowledge. You're gonna actually benefit from that knowledge, because I'm gonna be able to teach you how to do $1 million over and over and over again. Let's just say you do blow that $1 million one time, then you're gonna know how to get it again. So it's a repeated cycle. You just have to keep going, and you can never slow down.
Awesome. Now, to wrap things up, I just want to, let the people know where they can find you and, reach you.
Yeah, so I'm on all social media by the name Abdi Builds, ABDI BUILDS. Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere.
And you can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. The word THEHASSAN So I'm the Hassan Isaac. So you can find me all over social media. I interviewed some really big names, and we're going to be dropping a lot of really good videos coming soon. Real actual knowledge given for free. I'm not going to sell you a course. I'm not going to tell you to pay me $1,000 or anything. Just come, stay tuned, and have a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hassan, Abdi, this has been incredible.
Thank you, Travis.
Absolutely. This has been another excerpt from the Creator Hub Studios, presented by Transcend Podcast Studio. We will see you on the next one.